Welcome back. Now, Steve, did you ever pretend to be a soldier when you were a boy?
No, I was the Lone Ranger. It has to be said, hey ho, silver and all that. But if it helps you with the rest of the link, let me tell you that my son does still play at soldiers, yes.
Well, I guess every young boy has at some stage, but of course it's a different matter when you're a grown-up. But some people just won't give up that make-believe, as Helen Grace found out in her look at what's on this week.
Banging out the beat of pride for would-be soldiers at Kirby Hall in Northamptonshire. They'll be reenacting military history this weekend, and they're inviting people to join in.
We've got 1,000 reenactors, roughly, spanning the 1st to the 20th centuries, with a whole load of major displays depicting soldiers and other historical periods through the ages.
Sumus quatto decimali legio Gemini.
Like these members of a Roman legion who are finding it's not all fighting. They'll be lined up against soldiers with more modern weapons. The groups say they're not glorifying war, they're merely boys with toys, reenacting some important scenes from history.
As realistic as possible without people actually being hurt. It's lots of bangs, lots of noises, smoke.
Are left to fight our own battle. For the last programme in the present series, we decided to go out with a bang.
I wanted to finish with a bit of rock, but never mind. It sent us away to Northamptonshire. Guns, muskets, cannons, the works. A noisy day out, I can assure you.
They're great, these old houses, aren't they? You just feel you can reach out and touch the past.
It's really quiet and peaceful at the moment, but I've got a funny feeling something's going to happen later.
I just get the feeling we're not alone.
Take prisoners!
It's called History in Action, and we've got here 1,000 reenactors depicting everything from the Romans through to 1944. It's taken a year to plan, but we're very lucky. British reenactment societies are extremely good, and they actually love working together, and this is probably the greatest opportunity for them to do so. Kirby Hall is just a beautiful place. We're also blessed with a sloping field overlooking the hall, so we've got good viewing for our audience.
I see the Confederates let you go.
It was a very close run thing. What have you been up to?
Bit of drill practice.
Very good. I'm off to find out what's for lunch.
Right, well, I'm off to see a man who makes a mean elderflower cordial.
I'll see you later. What kind of was the diet like? Was it a good diet in those days?
It was probably quite a bit more healthy than ours. We ate a lot of vegetables, where we don't really.
Why are you doing this on a boiling hot summer's day when you could be kind of lying out in the garden?
Mad.
Good afternoon. On a day like today, can you spare a drink for a traveller?
By all means.
Is it very similar to the ale that we would drink nowadays, or is it very different?
Well, it seems to be a bit weaker. The records state most people were drinking up to a gallon of ale a day, which of course is a lot of ale.
So before the soldiers went into battle, would they drink ale then, or would they wait until after the fight?
Before, during and after, I think. In weather like this, you have to keep up your fluid intake, certainly. And the baggage trains for armies would have had huge butts of ale with them to keep the soldiers' morale up, as well as their strength.
Sounds like a heck of a time to be living in.
It is indeed, yeah.
I have to listen to her confessions. Same confession, same sin, same goat. It's boring.
I'll tell you something, if you spent as much time praying as you do shouting, we'd all be better off.
You call yourself a husband? Under law, she is owned by you.
Why don't you join a silence order?
The people who are out there taking part in this, they've got to be a bit mad, haven't they?
Possibly, but no madder than a golfer or a yachtsman. It's just a marvellous hobby which they all enjoy.
Hey, sin.
Romans, eh? Just like buses. You don't see one for ages, then hundreds of them come along.
Greetings, Octio. What brings you here today?
It's the largest group of Roman soldiers ever to be assembled for about 1950 years, so it's quite an exciting event for us.
How long have you been a pretend Roman?
15 years.
What attracted you to being a Roman rather than a Viking or Civil War person?
The very first story I remember as a 6-year-old was a story about Rome, so I think that stayed with me. We displayed military tactics and practices. We're going to do the testudo, which is the famous tortoise, as we know it now, and some charging wedges, the boar's head charges.
Well, my name's Baldric, Wild Thing, and this is Cunric the Small, and the group doesn't just fight. We have this living history side as well, and that's what really attracted me to it.
What time are we talking about?
The period of interest of the group is 950 to 1066.
And what would conditions have been like in those days?
Pretty horrific. The average age would have been pretty low. People would be dying off by the time they're 35. Probably just to simple things like teeth being a problem. Once you lose all your teeth, the life expectancy goes downhill quite quickly.
My favourite is the English Civil War, because the massed drums, the pipes, the muskets, it's very visual and it sounds great.
I'm preaching the word of the Lord, for surely you can see at the end of the world's at hand. There are many strange portents abroad, great fires in the sky.
So what's your job in the 20th century?
I'm actually a civil servant.
Well, if you just give me a blessing, Father, I'll be on my way.
In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Amen.
Go in peace, my sister. Go in peace.
Now, you may not have made it along today to Kirby Hall, but if you are interested in this kind of thing, here are some other historical events taking place during the summer.
Living history in the making. We've seen plenty of that here at Kirby Hall. So from Ross, Sir Thomas and me,
good night.